The Big Show with Night and Day. Barista-made coffee just the way you love it.
Don't fight it. It's time to go up a size.
This is the biggest.
This is the biggest.
Our biggest show.
The Hodaki Big Show with Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue, and Keyzie.
It is the Hodaki Big Show with Keyzie and Mogi, and no Hoity J yet again. He is still off sick.
Do you reckon he's quit?
Do you reckon he'd just do that?
I think he might have.
Yeah.
Because it keeps on going longer and longer, you see what I mean? I mean, I know I don't want to make a big deal about it.
Right.
I certainly don't want to bang on about it.
Not on air, anyway.
But it certainly feels like he's up to something.
Yeah. Well,
because if he ends up with a night shift on ZM, I'm going to be spewing.
I'll be spewing too.
Oh, you should be.
Oh, God. I mean, I don't want to jump to any conclusions because he doesn't have a history of just sort of randomly disappearing off drive shows, so I don't think we should start that rumour.
No, we should.
I think we'll say that he'll be back tomorrow.
If we just keep on saying he's back tomorrow.
That's
the main thing.
We can just keep doing that for the rest of the year.
Forever, for years.
But don't worry, folks, you got Keyzie and Mogi, another backbone of this show anyway, and don't forget it is brought to you by Night and Day. And you can get a hell of a caffeine fix, $4.50 at your local Night and Day. Big show coming up. We've actually got a long-time friend of Hoity J, Brendhan Lovegrove, who grew up with him as a kid and has remained...
He grew up with him as a kid.
He grew up with him as a kid.
Yeah. They grew from babies into kids and then into young men.
Right.
And then Brendhan showed a lot of promise at the school they were at, and he got taken to another school.
Oh,
but Jace had to stay behind.
Oh, it sucks. He's going to be on the show after 5:30, spinning some yarns about their childhood together, and also he's emceeing the stand-up comedy gig we're doing next week. Also, Mogi, I've got a bit of a situation tonight. It involves my basketball team coming back, me having done no prep, and us not having enough players. I need a favour from you, if that's all good.
Yeah, no worries.
But we'll get into that later on.
Can we get into that later?
Yeah, if that's all good.
Because I am dying to hear some Tool. I've heard enough of one Tool, and I want to hear some more Tool.
You're a Tool. Bloody hell. What are you up to, New Zealand? What are you wearing? 3483. Flick us a text, and you go in the draw for a $50 Night and Day voucher. Here's some Tool.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
Def Leppard Hysteria on the Hodaki Big Show. It is 14 minutes past 4 this Wednesday afternoon with Keyzie and Mogi. Hoity J back on deck hopefully tomorrow. Still under the weather, unfortunately, Mogi, but there is some sort of drama.
Some excitement for you, brother. We are breaking news, actually.
Oh, this
is breaking news. It just occurred to me.
This is breaking news.
It's breaking news because we're probably the last radio show in New Zealand to cover this.
Yeah, which is right where we sit, to be honest.
That's the way we do it. There's a gentleman here over in the Hawke's Bay who's fighting cancellation of his 24-hour gym membership for loitering after he stayed the night. He didn't stay one night, he stayed a few different nights. And his thing is, what he's saying is that he was training because in a month, so he's just signed up for 1 month, right? Because in a month he's going to go for a hike. Okay, so he's trying to beef up, as he puts it. He's trying to beef up
for the hike.
And so he's been in there and he's stayed there for up to 24 hours at a time overnight. So he'll turn up at midnight. He'll stay there for 8 hours. And they have cancelled his membership because they're saying he's making the other customers feel weird.
Yeah,
and I can see how that would happen. And they've made the point that this guy does not seem to be exercising the whole time. He said, well, I'm exercising. They said, well, you can't exercise the whole time. And he agrees. He says you can't, but you've got to rest.
Oh, for
you've got to have rest for time before you go back into it. So it's an interesting approach that he's got. I kind of feel like he's right because he's signed up. It's a 24-hour gym.
Yeah.
And can anybody else tell you how long your workout should be? Now, you know, if he's got his laptop out and he's sitting on the ground and he's watching TV or he's having a moi in the changing room
he's going to be eating in there.
Sleeping on one of the benches or whatever he's doing. I don't know. That's taking the piss a bit, but I hope he takes this to the highest court in the land.
Well, he does strike me as, because you'll see those guys out there who'll take something quite small and then go to court with it.
Oh, yeah.
Like a parking fine, whatever it might be. And then, but this guy, in my opinion, has signed up for 1 month.
Yeah. Probably $7 a week.
$7. So he's gone for the 1 month subscription, which is probably the shortest one they offer. He's staying the night there. He's obviously a bit strapped for cash, and he's thought this is a good way to maybe get some which, hey, I'm all for, man. Find a loophole and exploit it if you need to. And it reminds me of those guys that you read about. I don't think it's ever happened here, but in a lot of international airport lounges, someone will buy a first-class ticket somewhere, and then every day with a first class ticket, you can change it for free online.
Yeah.
And then just spend every single day in the various first-class airport lounges that are scattered around these massive airports. One bloke, I think it was in China, he did that for over a year.
Yeah,
So
I
I
read
like
that
it.
one as well.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, I mean,
They're going to put something in there now.
it is a bit weird, but at the same time, it does explain where Hoodie J's been all week.
That is a really good point. He's just trying to get the most out of it. And he does bang on about being at the gym all the time. What do you reckon, New Zealand? Is this dude weird? It's the whole training for a hike thing that has me thinking he's a... I don't know. It's just what I'm thinking, Mogi.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is this Jimmy Eat World, the middle? Is it?
I think so.
Far out. I wish Jace was here. He always knew exactly what the songs were, man.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
REM Bang and Blame on the Hodaki Big Show this Wednesday afternoon with Keyzie and Mogi. Coming up soon, Wage Against the Machine, by the way, so get ready to call 0800 Hodaki. Mogi, before we get to that, I've got a bit of a dilemma this evening, right?
You got a
dilemma. I've got a bit of an issue.
Yes.
Tonight, remember last year how I had a basketball team? Yeah, it was pretty funny. Basically, the idea was we've got this basketball team. It was made up of random people.
Was the idea to play basketball?
Well, not really, to be honest.
No,
We
okay.
sucked.
Yeah.
We specifically searched for the worst social basketball league in Auckland.
Oh, yeah.
We found it. It's just up the road. We asked to be in the bottom grade. We all play in it. We suck. We're all unfit. And pretty much 70% of the time we lose.
Yeah,
It's great.
yeah,
It's good.
You spend most of the time on the bench. Is that my memory playing tricks on me?
Yeah, that is your memory playing tricks on you.
yeah.
I play, right, I'm about 50-50 with bench and playing, but while I'm playing, I'm usually getting bullied by one of the players that was marking
right.
me.
That's right.
That's right, yeah, that guy. Gosh, flashbacks to that, actually. The issue I've got is that someone was like, hey, should we play this basketball team again? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Completely forgot about it. Paid my subs. It was like $100.
Did that come out of your funds account?
That did not come out of my fun account because we decided to make a new sport account to encourage a physical lifestyle. So that came out of the physical account, which is good. The issue is I then got a message saying, hey, first game's tonight, straight after the show, 7:15, straight from here.
Jeez. You better
Boom, over there.
boost.
I haven't shot a ball in 6 months. I haven't dribbled in 6 months. I haven't been for a run in a month and a half now. I'm massively out of shape. I just found out all of our subs have pulled out. A few people have pulled out for good, meaning the amount of money that I paid at the start of the season actually needs to go up a bit to cover it. And it's just a bit of a shambles.
I've got a question for you. Well, not really so much for you. It's more a question for Pugs. Pugs, can you go down and record this tonight, man? Can you go and record Keyzie playing basketball tonight? I think there's going to be some good content in there.
Well, Mogi,
Because if you're unfit, you've got no teammates, you haven't shot the ball, which you have to. You got to shoot every day to keep your shot on.
Yeah.
You've done none of that.
yeah.
How do you think you're going to go?
Well, it's going to be terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I for some reason, part of my brain was like, oh, the first game will be next week.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's tonight.
Yeah.
And everyone's unavailable except for you and 4 of your mates there who are all pretty unfit as well. So
you got 5 guys, no subs.
we got no subs. We need.
Oh,
This is where you come in, right?
right.
Mogi.
You want me to come down and laugh at you?
Cut Mogi.
Yeah.
Would you be open to coming down and just being that 6th guy for us?
You think bringing down a 47-year-old smoking, drinking
Yeah.
piece of shit
Yeah.
is going to help your team out or make you feel better?
To be honest, it's going to help our team out. That is the standard of our team. What do you reckon?
Honestly, if I had more than a couple of hours' notice, I'd actually probably be keen.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause you balled back
I
in the
used
day.
to play. And that's in your brain, and this people don't realise this. When you get old, like to me, I'm thinking, oh no, I used to play last year or the year before. It was 30 years ago. So my standard would not be high, but it's bloody good fun. As you say, you've got to take joy out of the participation, and I take a lot of joy out of confrontation in those games as well.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of that.
I love the confrontation.
The more social,
That's
the great.
great. The more social, and you get a guy that takes it seriously, and you get
Yeah.
to be involved in a confrontation. That's my bread and butter.
Genuinely, if I gave you like 2 weeks' notice, it was just like, we need guys for this. Would you
I
come
reckon
play?
it'd be
a game?
hilarious. Yeah, I'd come down.
Oh
Yeah.
God!
Tonight's not the night.
No.
and please record it because you can still get. I'm sure you said last year that they record every
They
game.
record every game and every stat.
Can you please bring that in tomorrow?
Okay.
All right, at
Yeah.
least the stats.
Yeah, I'll bring in the recording as well.
As well, and the stats will be so good. This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be great.
Oh, it's going to be so great.
We're going to start doing this every week. We should start, yeah.
Oh, this should be a weekly segment.
Absolutely.
We could call it How Shit's Keyzie at Basketball. Get sponsors on board.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
Do what they told you. Do what they told you. Do what they told you. Do what they told you.
It's time to wage against the machine.
Winning in the game of.
Oh, yeah, winning in the game of, all right. Wage Against the Machine, it's back. Your chance to win some serious cash thanks to our mates at Super Liquor. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that, Super Liquor, man.
Hey, Ben, cheers to that, man.
How's it going, lad?
Hey,
Yeah.
Ben, man. Cheers to that, man.
Cheers for that, boys.
Yeah, boys.
That's the one right there, Ben. Do you know how Wage Against the Machine works, Ben?
Just say
A
no.
little bit familiar. Just fill me in, Keyzie.
Good
Yeah,
on you,
right. So how it works is we'll announce the hourly wage today, $80 an hour, 80, which is pretty damn good. You'll then clock into the machine and then make sure you say stop nice and loud before the machine clocks you out. Otherwise, you will lose everything. Are you much of a, do you like to push your luck a bit, Ben?
On the fence.
You're on the fence. All right. Okay. And have you got a number in mind? You don't have to say what it is, but have you got a number in mind?
Yeah, I got a bit of a number, mate.
You got a bit of a number? Yeah.
All right, Ben, let's rip straight into it. Don't forget to yell stop nice and loud.
Welcome to the machine.
1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. 4 hours. 5 hours.
Stop.
Whoa. 5 hours times
400.
$80. $400. Ben, that's pretty damn good, isn't it?
That's good eating.
Yeah, that's a good dollop to lead into the weekend.
Exactly. You need a fat dollop of cash before heading into the weekend. Let's have a listen and see how much you could have won, Ben. You ready? No, I
Yeah.
butchered it. It's gone.
I just buggered it.
Yeah.
Keezy's butchered it. I think it was going to go up to 8.
Was it 8?
I had a little look. It was going to go up to 8.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so you could have had, what's that?
640.
640, yeah.
That's some good.
Jeez. Well,
I'm pretty happy.
what do you do for a crust there, Ben, out of interest?
Chippy.
backbone.
So you've taken a bit of a pay cut there, brother, but because you've got it all at once, you're able to walk into your office tomorrow there, or at least onto site, and tell the foreman to stick it where the sun don't shine. Because essentially you are rich.
Oh, mate, I'm over the moon.
Yeah, just quit, man.
Quit, man.
Sell your tools, man.
Ben, call your boss right now. Leave us on speaker and then quit, and we'll listen.
Yeah.
All right, Ben.
Nah.
We'll chuck you over to Pugson, mate. He'll look after you. Thanks for playing Wage Against the Machine. It'll be back again tomorrow morning, 8:30 on the Matt and Jerry Show.
Tune.
Yeah, big tune. Tame Impala.
The Hodaki Big Show. Weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Led Zeppelin ramble on. 5 minutes to 5 o'clock on the Hodaki Big Show this Wednesday afternoon. Coming up after 5 o'clock, because it's Mogi and I, we're both here, and Hoity J's not here to stop us. We are going to do some serious Waz chat, going over the team list, which came out last night ahead of this weekend's game. Also, Mogi, I've got some new material that that I've been working on the last couple of days ahead of our stand-up gig next week. Something a bit more edgy.
Yeah.
Something that I need to preface and be like, look, this may offend some
You
people.
want to change up your image a little bit, because I think you're working clean at the moment.
Yeah.
And you want to work, blue, they call it.
Fully blue?
Well, pretty blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do that after 5 o'clock. Also, Brendhan Lovegrove, the comedian who is emceeing our comedy night next week, and also a lifelong friend, actually, of Hoity J, is coming in after 5:30 for a chat, so make sure you do stick around.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast. Catch them weekdays from 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Yeah, it is the big show with old Hoity J, Mogi and Keyzie. It's also brought to you by Night and Day.
Really good.
Thanks, man. We don't need Hoity J. No, just joking. We do need him, but he is still sick. Fingers crossed he is back on deck with us tomorrow. In the meantime, you got old Keyzie and Mogi. And if there's one thing that we like talking about, it is the Warriors. Last night they named their team, and we're going to go through that a wee bit. A bit of a preview ahead of this weekend's game against the Knights.
Yeah.
Which is happening on Sunday. I've also got some edgy new material, Mogi. I've decided to R18 it up a wee bit.
Yeah.
Just because this gig we're doing, it's kind of an adults-only type setup.
Yeah.
And we've got Brendhan Lovegrove coming in later on as well. I know he can do some edgy jokes too.
He can, actually, yeah.
And he's made a career out of it. So I'm keen to sort of go down that path. Just sharpen up a wee bit. That's what's on the way next. But in the meantime, as always, on 3483, you can get in touch with us. $50 night and day vouchers for everyone that text. So while you're in the draw, you don't just get one instantly. That'll just be stupid. Oh, man, imagine that. That'll be good. Hey, Mogi.
I reckon. I'm looking forward to this Warriors chat, though, man.
Yeah, that's still like a wee while away.
Is it? Can we do that now?
Okay. Oh, after this.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
La, 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 la.
Iggy Pop and Mogi there with The Passenger. It is the Hodaki Big Show. 12 minutes past 5 tomorrow. We're broadcasting live from Andy's Burger Bar, Sky City, Auckland.
Sorry about that, guys.
Slight error. I'll just plow on, though, because we're professionals. Tomorrow, Andy's Burger Bar at Sky City, Auckland, 4 o'clock onwards. The Big Show will be live. Come on down, knock off work early. We're going to have Backbone T-shirts to give away. Also, food and beverage vouchers and Comedy Fest tickets, because it is to kick off the 2024 New Zealand International Comedy Festival with Best Foods Mayo and Mogi. We're doing stand-up next week. The gig is completely sold out, which I don't know if I'm pleased about or disappointed about.
Yeah.
But I've decided to go a bit more edgy with my stand-up. Like R18 it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a bit of... you describe it as blue humour.
That's what it's called.
Yeah. So I hope you don't mind anyone listening that doesn't like blue humour. Cover your ears now, because...
Yeah, if you've got kids in the car...
Yeah.
Then you can send all your complaints through on 0800 Hodaki or text us here on 3483.
Yeah, well, hopefully these don't, trigger any complaints or anything, because they are pretty damn edgy. So I'm just going to get the background audio there, like I'm in the classic about to do my set. G'day, guys. I'm Keyzie from the old Hodaki Big Show. Do you guys know the Hodaki Big Show? Yeah, yeah, cool. All right. I've got some R18 stuff for you now, so just hold on to your hats. All right, here we go. Oh, I farted at work the other day. My co-worker tried to open a window. Must have been bad, because we work in a submarine.
No, you don't. You work on the radio.
What do you get when a duchess farts? Anyone? A noble gas.
What? Do you get that?
Oh, okay, try this one. Why did the fart miss graduation? It was expelled.
Oh, yeah. Now, out of someone's ace.
Why did the baker have smelly hands? Because he needed to poo. No, he needed a poo.
He's butchered that one.
Damn, this is hard.
I might go do a poo myself.
If you're American in the living room, what are you in the bathroom? European.
I could be a poem.
Anyway, that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed the set. I'm Keyzie from the Hodaki Big Show.
That was really good.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
It just didn't feel good.
Oh, yeah, and that can be the way it is. I've often noticed, like, if you're doing a TV show or something and you do a take, you think, oh, that was really good. Then the director comes and says, that sucks.
Right.
But then the converse is true as well, which is you think you've done badly and they say it was really good. So often you can't trust your own instincts, Keyzie. You're the last person that knows whether you've done any good because you've never been a stand-up comedian. Not really.
Right.
So you can't trust your own instincts. So if it's terrible like that, you felt what was for you, but for me and Pugs, that was amazing. Text us on 3483. How good was that? I would say just do that set.
But people have heard it now.
You've got your set.
Right, that's my set.
Yeah. Well, the people that are listening probably won't be in the room on the night. And if they were, they'd count themselves lucky to be able to see that set in person.
Right, it's like when you listen to Give Me Shelter on the radio and then you see the Stones live.
Totally.
It's a whole different...
Your set is exactly the same as Give Me Shelter by the Rolling Stones.
Thanks, Mogi, man. I can't wait for next week now.
I'm very much looking forward to it as well.
You know when you're really prepped for an exam and you just feel like you're going to go in there and ace it? That's going to be me, man. Can't wait. By the way, Brendhan Lovegrove, who's actually emceeing that comedy event, he's going to be in after 5:30, so stick around.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
It is the Hodaki Big Show this Wednesday evening, 25 minutes past 5. You've got Keyzie and Mogi. Hoodie J still under the weather. Fingers crossed he is back on deck tomorrow. In the meantime, If you text the word Triton, Triton, to 3483 right now, you can win a chance to experience an epic off-road adventure in the brand new Mitsubishi Triton, the new king of the beasts. This is exactly the thing that myself, Mogi, and Hoodie J did. You can see that video on the Hodaki Big Show, wherever you get your Instagram content from. Hey,
Can
Mogi.
I just say it's a hell of a prize?
It is a hell of a prize. Unless you've actually been off-roading, in a proper vehicle, you are missing out. It's time for some Warriors chat there, Mogi. What do you reckon, mate? The team
Let's
list.
do it, man.
What do you reckon?
I reckon we need to update this. What's happening with the Wars with Keyzie and Mogi? But yeah, it's pretty exciting. I know you're having trouble learning how to use the desk, and we can do more sessions of it over the coming day, and you can learn how to push the buttons and have the stings come up. But yeah, in the meantime, as professionals, we just act like there isn't a problem. We certainly don't want to point at it. We certainly don't want to bang on about it and make most of the break about it.
Mike,
so let's just get into what it's about. That is team list Tuesday as read on Wednesday. It's a good lineup, man. I like it. We've got a couple of players that are back from injury. One of those is Kurt Capewell, who as recently as yesterday morning was listed as being on the injury list indefinitely, and as it turns out, it was a week.
The weird thing about Kurt Capewell, and on the website it says apparently it's a throat injury, but there's also rumours about he's nursing a broken rib or two, which is something he's going to be dealing with all season. He's certainly in the wars at the moment, but we just need Stocks back in the back row, man. It's so good to have another forward back in the rotation.
Yep.
I'd love to have Marata Niukorea back from his foot injury. That's not going to be until round 14, apparently. And then Jazz Tevanga is another one we need to get back. But I understand Bunty's back as well on the bench.
Bunty's back.
So
Bunty is back, and Zion Maiuu has dropped back to the reserves. I thought he was awesome.
He was
last week. He brought a lot of energy, and I think, as a rule, when you're dropping off your main guys, as soon as you have that first rotation off the bench, you usually lose a little bit of energy. But I thought he was particularly good, and definitely in the second half. So huge things for them. It won't hurt to have a little bit of Bunty. The backs are the same. So Nickel Klogstad, Watini Zalesniak, Rocco Berry, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Montoya, Tamari Martin, and Sean Johnson. And the forwards are Whanua Blake, Wade Egan, Mitchell Barnett, Jackson Ford, Kurt Capewell, Tohu Harris.
So we're getting Stocks back, which is good. We are taking on the Knights. This game is 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. I believe commentating that one on Sky Sport 9 is myself and Di Henwood.
Yeah.
This is going to be played over at the Knights' home ground, and I believe there is meant to be wet weather over in Sydney this weekend. Hopefully it's cleared up by then. But they are without Kalen Ponga, who is he won the Dahlia medal last year, which means he's the best player in the competition. He is, in my opinion, the most influential player to any team, and it's essentially, now that he's gone, I'm putting a big line through the Knights and saying they're not doing anything this year.
Did they win without him last week?
They won without him last week against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
It was a very close game, and the Knights completed to a high level. So they completed pretty much like 90% of their sets. The thing that they do, though, is, and we have actually had trouble with this in recent, certainly this year, is we might be completing to a high level sometimes. We aren't then doing anything with it. So you can just complete, kick to the corner, whatever it is, until you're actually turning that into points. You know, you're never really going to go too far in the competition. But
yeah, exactly right. And I think the Warriors we've got some of the best stats in the comp, but we've got the third highest completion rates. And we are getting a lot of ball in the opposition 20, but there are issues when it comes to attack a little bit at the moment. But, look, pretty much the same place as we were this time last season. And I think there's some other injuries that they've got as well. But I can't remember off the top of my head.
You talk about the Knights there.
The Knights there, yeah. They had another significant injury. Like, they've got two absolute guns in that team, and both of them are out. So for me, it feels like, I think now's the time to probably predict it. I am going to go with a 13 plus. I reckon them having...
After Anzac Day.
I think after having a break.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the key for them.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And I think... Yeah, I can see the Warriors winning this one. You would like to think they can do it. And a 13-plus victory would certainly get all those people who are thinking of getting off the bandwagon and get them to stay on it. Because once you're on, you should stay on it for life, man.
Well, yeah.
That's how it works. Coming up next on the Hodaki Big Show, by the way, comedian Brendhan Lovegrove, who is not only emceeing the comedy event that we are doing next week, he also goes way back with old Hoity J. We'll get him to regale us with some of his tales of those two growing up together, shortly, so stay tuned.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
It is Blind Spot Flex on the Hodaki Big Show with Keyzie and Mogi. Hoity J still not on deck. Hopefully he's back on board tomorrow. But someone who is here is a longtime friend of old Hoity J, comedian Brendhan Lovegrove. Welcome along.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I met Jason when I was 8. He was 9.
Is that true?
Yep, because he was 507 at Duluth when I was 509. And then there was a dude who was 508, who's sadly not with us anymore, called Marty. He was our best friend, and we just hung around pretty much for the rest of our lives.
Was Marty the one that stabbed Jace?
No.
That's right.
No, but the person who was better not be listening because he will not be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, not as unhappy as Jace was when he got stabbed by your mate that's unhappy about hearing about it.
Yeah, okay, that's very fair. But if ever a person was going to be good about stabbing, it was Hoyt.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a purposeful one. He didn't go, oh, you're a beep, beep, and then stab him. It was actually kind of an accident. He went, hooray, and it went into it.
If I remember correctly, they were playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Something like that,
if you're
yeah.
playing Dungeons and Dragons, I think you deserve to be stabbed.
It's 100%.
Now, Jace used to talk about, because while we're on the topic of Dilworth, Jace
Yes.
has spun many yarns
Oh, God.
about his time back then.
Well, you've just dove straight into the hardest material of all time, kind of. Hey,
Well-
yeah.
well,
Hey,
one of the
why
things
don't you
that
just ask me if I'm a victim, you dick? Like, shit, we did. If you're going to... Look.
Well, no, what I'm going to ask you is, if you're a victim, but if you're
Sorry,
a
I called
victim...
you a dick. Now you're a victim.
a victim of Jace's, he said he had a hur of a temper on him. And he said if anybody started a fight with him, he would just go nuts.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Okay, there was a guy who was beating me up one day. Oh, well, no, I was 60-40. I was just trying to stop him beating me up.
Yeah.
And then Hoyt, if you notice, he's got spindly little legs. They're quite strong. They're quite strong legs, but they're quite sort of spindly.
They're
and
definitely spindly.
But he, for a not necessarily quite coordinated guy, he's actually sports-wise very, 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 very good. But next thing I knew, this guy was actually known to be a bully. Jason threw him off and went, you're always picking on Lovegrove, and then proceeded to sort of to 50-50, sort of just to hold his
Hold him
own
off.
against the bully.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I'd like to say that, wow, and realise what a good friend he was, but actually I was just so stoked that I wasn't getting punched anymore.
Because he tells us these yarns, and I don't know if they're true or not.
Well, I assume that they're not. Because the other yarns that he's got is about how he used to be awesome at golf.
Yes,
and how he's
yes.
brilliant at table tennis and pool and all
Captain
these
of
sorts
the cricket team.
But he keeps on saying
Well,
these
yes, but
things.
after me, he was captain of the cricket team after me. But
And you were younger than him.
well, only by sort of 6 months. But
Yes.
he, funny enough, he won the Duluth Interhouse intermediate, which is sort of before you're 15.
Yeah.
Tennis. And
Wow.
he didn't even play tennis. And the guy who did play tennis, who came second, was not very happy.
That's
And look-
weird. He's never bragged about that to us.
He
Really?
must have forgotten.
No, he won't. Yeah, well, I mean, he's quite a competitive guy, as Jason, let's face it.
Well, he is competitive until you get him into the act of competing, and then he's incredibly uncompetitive.
Yeah.
I think he's got a competitive spirit. But
Yes.
we've taken him out for various things, and it hasn't gone according to plan. Although he did when we had a competition here, who's got the biggest nose, and,
Right.
he won that.
Yes, it's a Roman nose, he tells us all, right? Because it roams all over his face. That's what his dad used to say.
His dad used to. This is such good. We should get Brendan on every week.
That's the, yeah.
Whenever Jace isn't here, we get Brendan in just to tell us stories
that's
about
right.
Jace.
Right.
This is good. Brendan, the reason you're here, obviously, is because we've got the.
Should we make it a surprise when the next break
as to why he's
as
here.
to why he's here?
He nearly killed me.
Who? Jace?
Yes, he nearly killed me because we were up north at my dad's farm when we were about 14, and he found these little things on the ground underneath this tree, and we opened it up, and they were like this sort of this nutty thing,
Right.
And we ate some of it and spat it out because it was disgusting, and then we went home and told Dad, and he looked it up in an encyclopedia. And it was poisonous. But Hoyt said he's had it before. He's had it barbecues. It's really nice. And that's what he said. And I just went with it because he's an intelligent guy.
A little Hoity J line through his teeth there.
Yeah.
He does seem like a forager, though. I'd probably believe him. Or like a herbalist. All right, well, we'll come back with Brendhan Lovegrove after this absolute bomb track from Rage Against the Machine.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
That's a massive tune, Rage Against the Machine bomb track on the Hodaki Big Show. You've got Keyzie and Minogue with your Hoity J still off sick, but in the meantime, we've got our long-term friend Brendhan Lovegrove, who's also a well-known Kiwi comedian, and you, Brendhan, are going to be emceeing the New Zealand International Comedy Fest, the All-Stars Night next week, that myself, Mike Minogue and Jason Hoyt are going to be doing stand-up at?
I am. No, but you got to. It's not the only night I'm doing. I'm doing the Tuesday, the Wednesday, and the Friday and the Saturday. It's not just all about you guys.
No, that's true.
All right.
That's true.
And to be fair, we don't even need to plug it because it's already sold out.
That's
so what are we
true.
doing here? We're wasting my time and yours.
Exactly.
But that's why I came along prepared, because Scotty, who runs the Classic, said to me, well, if they want to, they can always come back on Thursday and do 2 in a row to get sort of,
Ticket sales
get
a bit slow.
No, a little bit. But
Well, we'll see how it goes.
how rude. They never asked me that on More FM.
But what about, you must have some tips here. Obviously, it's really my first time in front of a proper crowd. Keysie's fourth, I think, third or fourth.
Yeah.
Jace has done it a lot, but it's been a long time since he's done it. And he was never big, he said, on doing it on his own.
Well, he was very good. But, I don't think stand-up was his real passion. Writing was, and writing, particularly when he was with John Bruff from What We Do in the Shadows, and they were doing Sugar and Spice. But look, and 4 gigs in is just the beginning, and it's your second, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is brand new.
Yes.
But it's sold out, and it's a great room, the Classic. It's not the easiest room to play necessarily, but it's not the hardest. It's actually very fair. New Zealanders are... They're tough but fair. But I think the main thing about that night is because it's all based around you just have a good time.
Yeah, beauty.
What about Brendhan?
I mean, you know what your listeners are like.
Yes.
Diddle. they'll go nuts.
To be fair, diddle. I haven't heard that word in ages.
I use it all the time. I think it's coming back. I think it has to.
What do you think I should do? Because I'm currently writing a new little 5-minute set thing.
Mm-hmm.
Should I do this new stuff? I've never even tested it on anyone,
Right.
but I think it's quite funny.
Okay.
Or should I do the stuff that I've already done that I know has made people laugh and just sharpen that up?
Well, the first thing you're going to do is lose the fucking attitude, because I've been listening over the last few days, and I don't know, man, you got some weird ideas about comedy, and then when you get the punchline, just relax. When you get to the punchline, just relax. A big smile, because you're a handsome guy. You've grown the beard because you're not comfortable with your face. You've grown the mo because you're not comfortable with your upper lip. That's it, isn't it?
This is
You've grown
huge.
it. You should see it. They will see that mo at the Classic. That's going to let you down.
Really?
If your listening audience right now could see that mo, they go, dude, you're going to die.
Is that where
You're
you've
gonna
got no
bomb on Thursday
hair?
night.
You've got no hair at all.
So no, I don't.
Is that
you know
to-
why I shaved it off?
Why?
Because my jokes are excellent. Suck that. You got nothing here. More FM were funny when I said that. You guys got nothing and you're on. Far out.
Mike, have you got a question for Brendhan?
No, man, I think that's probably about it. I think we're going to see you on next Wednesday, so a week tonight. And
Tell you what, you could get rid of that mo too.
oh, no, you like this, Mo.
I don't know, man.
Oh, nah.
Depends what you were doing.
Oh, no, it's a beautiful massage, this one. Can't fault this.
So it is the comedy night at the Classic All Stars, which is happening, I think, all throughout the festival, isn't it?
Yes, there's three different weeks. I'm doing the 7th to the 11th. Your guys are on the Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it though. I'm really looking forward to it because I haven't seen Jace, haven't seen you guys, and it's going to be a proper comedy night. So there'll be a proper comedy audience, and you'll be playing festivals, which to be fair, a lot of young comics have wanted to do for years and get rejected, and you just come straight on and do the gig. No, well done.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like a dick about it. That's the other thing about this is it's it's like, the radio guy thinks he can do comedy,
Right.
Can
It's like when you see the fishing show and a fish gets caught and it's coming out of the water and all the actors have to watch this fish who doesn't want to be there, and all these out of work actors going, I can't even get on the television, there's a fish and then the hook doesn't want to be there.
Centre of attention.
So can you compete with comedy like that?
Brendhan Lovegrove, thank you very much for coming in, mate, and looking forward to working with you next week.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, it's a shame. We're going to get to some NXS.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
Arctic Monkeys, Fluorescent Adolescent on the Hodaki Big Show. It is almost 6 o'clock coming up after 6. We have got What's on TV with Mike Minogue. Plus, Mike, have you heard that we are giving away free air guitars this New Zealand Music Month?
I have.
That's obviously at a great cost to Radio Hodaki. If you would like a free air guitar, text the word guitar to 3483. You can instantly claim one. It shows up straight away. And also, as a bonus, you go in the draw for a real guitar thanks to the Rock Shop. It's an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2 by Gibson. And a slash player pack, including amp, gig bag, strap, picks, and tuner. The full set, so you can get out there and start shredding straight away.
That's pretty mean, eh? I like the idea of giving away a whole bunch of air guitars, and as soon as you text, you just go out onto your doorstep and it'll be there.
It'll
right?
be there. It's on your doorstep.
Yeah.
Or it could actually sometimes, depending on where you live, if it's like an apartment, it might be down in your mailbox. But guitar to 3483, get yourself in the draw, and you might also win a real guitar. We'll see you shortly on The Big Show.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast. Catch them weekdays from 4 on Radio Hodaki.
It is the Hodaki Big Show after 6 o'clock with Keyzie and Minogue. Unfortunately, old Jace is still under the weather, but I really do hope he is back on board with us tomorrow. Of course, the show, regardless of whether Jace is here, is brought to you by Night and Day. And at the moment, $4.50, you go in there. You can get a hell of a caffeine fix barista-made coffee. It's a bloody good deal if you ask me. So is a free podcast. Hey, Mogi.
I reckon, man. And we do one, well, we do a couple a day. One is the highlights of the show. And the second one is just one where we have a little bit of a ramble. Generally, it's you, me, and Hoodie J, but Hoodie J's not here, as you may have heard, and as a result, we get Pugsan. Pugsan comes in, and today he was talking about what an ass kicker he is.
Yeah.
And how he loves just cracking skulls.
Yeah.
He what does he do? He takes names... kicks ass and takes names or something like that. He was saying.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's in this clip.
Well, he was saying that he kicks ass now and asks questions later.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the thing he was saying.
Yeah.
Here's a wee clip of today's potty just to...
He kicks their ass and he's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. And then he kicks their ass again. Here's a wee clip.
I don't think I've been in a fight full stop, man.
Have you not?
Nah. I think if it was a last resort,
right,
I would see how I went, but I'm not banking on
What
myself
about if
either.
the second last resort is running away?
Well, I'm not doing any running, so we're going straight to the last resort.
Such a badass old Pugsan, eh?
Yeah, man.
Wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of him, man, because he can get into a hurr of a mood.
The only wrong side of Pugs is the outside.
Hell yeah. I don't
You know
get
what
it.
I'm saying?
I actually don't get it.
Well, think about it. If that's the wrong side, what's the right side?
Yeah,
boy.
man. So weird. Oh, is this
man?
Stone Temple Pilots, man. Hey, you guys, you got a couple of songs, so you go in there and do what you need to do, man.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
So that was Living Colour, Cult of Personality on the Hodaki Big Show. You got Keyzie and Minogue here with you for your Wednesday evening.
And it's time for us to do a little bit of computer chat.
Oh, computer chat.
This is something that you and I have wanted to do for a long time because we get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally it is.
Technical stuff.
Yeah.
And technology stuff. And technique-related stuff.
RAM.
Yeah, ROM.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hard
RAM and
drive.
ROM. Yeah, that's right. Floppy.
Yeah, disk.
Yep. And today's topic is going to be the software that's available to you on Mac. So I've had a Mac for a while. A lot of people use the other one. What's the other one called? PC.
Windows.
Windows. Sure.
Is it still called Windows?
I guess so.
Yeah.
But on Mac, you get... people are going to love this, by the way. They're going to love that you get Word and Excel, and that's for making your documents and stuff like that, right? But Mac has always had to use Microsoft Word and Excel, and in the last few years have invented Pages and Numbers.
Which is their version.
As it turns out. And I don't think that really computed with me. I don't think that I realised that it was never theirs in the first place. I probably knew it, but I just didn't really take any notice of it.
Yeah.
And so over the last couple of few years, I've been using Numbers and Pages, and then I found out in the last few days that I could just go and buy the old thing that I've used to using for the last 20 years.
For Mac.
That I could just use that for Mac. And not only that, because one of the other things they did was they made it so you had to rent it, you couldn't own it.
That's right. You have to
remember
subscribe
that? So
to it,
subscription, which is genius from a business point of view.
And a real pain in the ass.
And really sucks from ours. But I found it, and you can buy it.
Oh.
So I bought it, and now I own it, and now I can just use it. And I started using it today, and it is beautiful. I have to do a lot of stuff with at work, other work with that. I'm using that software, and the Mac version is absolute trash.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Absolute trash.
When you buy it one off like you did, does it? Because I remember the whole thing was, if you do the live subscription thing, you'll get the latest version of it. We'll update it once a month, blah, blah, blah. And it's hang on, it's the same software that's been around for 30 years.
That's right.
It hasn't changed.
And they do have updates, right, which are free anyway. It's like $200 for all of it. Yeah.
Wow, that's really good to know. I really wish I knew that.
Oh, no, it's so good, Keyzie.
I reckon, because I had that, and just a reminder, if you've just tuned in, this is Software Chat with Keyzie and Mogi. I had that
Soft on Chat.
Oh, is that what it is? Are we going with that? I had that subscription. It was $12.50 a month. I've had it for probably 4 years.
Yes.
3 months ago, I got rid of it and went to Google Drive.
Right.
All online. It was a massive debacle. I had to convert everything over. It messed with the formatting, all sorts of stuff. It was a shambles to save money. And now I find out I could have probably spent less than that and just had the software.
Yeah, exactly right. And while I say that as well, just while we're on the subject of this in our new segment, Soft On, we are not short of content in any way, shape, or form.
What, right now?
Yeah. This is good stuff.
No, I know.
And you won't hear this on any other radio station, not because it's garbage content.
No.
But because they're too scared to talk about the things that people want to know about.
It's a big sort of cake to take a bite of. Just quickly, Mogi, before I let you go. Speaking of bites, what's your favourite bite? Because you obviously
megabyte.
Yours megabyte?
Yeah.
See, I had you for.
What about a gigabyte?
Yeah, I had you for you're a big gigabyte guy.
Giggity. Are you going down that lane?
I'm a terabyte guy.
Sure.
What's your favourite bite in New Zealand?
Text us through on 3483. When we do this next time, we'll read your text.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
The Black Keys on the Hodaki Big Show with Keyzie and Mogi, and it is time for this.
What's on the telly with Mike Minogue.
Last night I watched a TV show called Relentless.
Oh.
Does that sound hardcore, Keyzie?
Is that the kickboxing one?
Nah, it's MMA.
Oh,
and
my
it's,
bad.
It's set in city kickboxing.
Here in New Zealand.
Here in Auckland, New Zealand. So Eugene Bierman is the guy that runs that show, and Israel Adesanya and Dan Hooker and a bunch of other dudes and dudettes all work out of there. So it's like, I think it's 6 or 8 people have a go into, I think it's an 8-week competition, and then after that, if they win, if they get selected, if they are the one, then they get it's essentially an internship, but a paid subsidised training for a year or however long it is.
Right. Okay.
Really, really good.
Really,
really good.
Oh, that's good.
I love, we were talking about it on the pod show outro, whatever we call it, the podcast outro. We were talking about how people get aggressive and they fight. There's a guy and they go to classes so that they can get better at kicking people's asses, and they go on Friday nights and they kick people's asses. There was a guy on this one who was very violent as a young dude, and he was like that. And he went to jail, and then he came out and then went and did mixed martial arts, which gave him the discipline to then not do that.
Well, that's good.
It's a really cool show. Love it. It's on TVNZ Plus. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I've seen the advertising for that. It is new. It's everywhere at the moment.
It's new.
I watched episode 3 of Fallout on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you did?
Because we had a yarn about it yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I should just watch another episode.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Was your wife home when you watched it?
No.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
She's either unconscious in bed.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
She was at squash last night, and I was eating dinner, so I was like, all right, I'm going to chuck on Fallout. It's just, it doesn't have me by the balls like The Last of Us did, where you're just sitting there engrossed in it. But it is entertaining.
Watchable.
It's almost more comedy, slapstick action. Is that a thing?
Yes.
Like the action in it is so slapstick and out there that, of course, it's never going to happen in real life, but that's what the whole idea is.
Yeah, right.
So, but it is very entertaining. The characters are pretty good and strong. Love the universe. Worth watching.
How many dillies out of 5?
4. I wish it was 5.
4 dillies out of 5?
Yeah, but I wish...
that sounds like...
Can I go out of 10? Can I go 10 dillies out of 10 dillies?
Instead of 5 out of 5?
Instead of 5, I'll go...
But what about how many stars out of 5?
3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So that's different.
Yeah.
It depends whether it's dillies or stars.
Yeah, well, if it's dillies, you want as many as you can get.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
Absolute garbage there. A song called Only Happy When It Rains on the Hodaki Big Show. Still got Keyzie and Mogi with you. Fingers crossed Hoity J's back on board tomorrow because we have a live show. It is going to be at Andy's Burger Bar, Sky City, Auckland. 4 p.m. we get underway. We're going to have free Backbone t-shirts, food and bevy vouchers, comedy festival tickets as well, because this show is to celebrate the launch of the 2024 New Zealand International Comedy Festival with Best Foods, Mayo and Mogi. Even if Hoity J may or may not be there, we do have a crap load of comedians coming through to have a yarn, don't we?
We certainly do. There's probably the most guests that we've ever had on a show, I would say.
Absolutely.
Hands down, the most we've ever had in a week, I would say.
Well, I remember one live show we had ahead of the Black Clash. We had a few footy players come in.
That's true.
But that was about 3.
Yeah.
So we got more than that.
Yeah, we got Dr. Joel Rinderloob.
He is a scientist
He is
slash
a
comedian.
scientist / comedian. That's absolutely right. He's also on Celebrity Treasure Island.
You know him, right?
I do.
Is he a funny bloke?
He is a funny, weird dude.
Like a dry...
He's an ice hockey. He's from the States.
Right.
Sort of close to... Minnesota. He's from Minnesota.
Right.
And so he came out here on a semi-professional ice hockey scholarship.
Wow.
He is a scientist. He is now doing stand-up comedy, and he's got a party science podcast coming out as well.
Right.
Where he sort of looks into what happens when you get on the gear and all sorts of other stuff as well. Very interesting stuff.
Right, okay.
There's also Terada.
Who's a legend.
Yeah. The Radar.
The Radar, as he's known.
Or Radar.
And much like Brendhan Lovegrove, who was on the show earlier, he goes way back with old Hoity J as well.
He certainly does. Then we've got Hannah Campbell, Ian Smith, and Kirsty Webeck.
Smithy.
Is it Webeck or Webeck?
I have no idea. I'm no idea, but I will ask her tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll ask
off
her when
air.
we see her. No, we should ask her on here.
Is that Ian Smith? Is that Smithy?
I think it's Smitzy.
Because I'm pretty sure famously Smithy doesn't really have a sense of humour.
Well, I think that's part of the joke. It's
Right.
just him. It's him up there telling
out
great yarns.
And he says stuff like, the ACC, that's just dumbing down cricket.
Yeah,
he says stuff like that. That is funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And, then there's another commentator who'll come out who will sort of heckle from the crowd and say, such and such a player used to starve himself for 2 days after a loss in Test cricket, unlike Smithy here, who would eat non-stop for 2 days after a loss in cricket.
Who said that? That Aussie bloke.
Yeah,
It's pretty funny, cool.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Smithy's one. That is happening tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Andy's Burger Bar at the Sky Tower here in Auckland. Knock off work early, come along and get amongst the action.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Well, that is the end of the Hodaki Big Show this Wednesday afternoon. Mogi, are you all good?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Just choking away over there. I'm straight from here heading to basketball. 15 minutes, my game starts, tips off.
Bounce, 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 brick.
100%.
Bounce, 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 air ball.
That's correct.
Bounce, 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 strip.
And now Pugsan's going to come and film it.
I'm thrilled about it, man. I think it could be the start of a whole new world for us. Could potentially be willing to join the team. There's something that people love about a bunch of deadbeats who start out the season the underdogs, and by the end of the year they've completely humiliated themselves.
Well, to be honest with our team, it's by the end of the year they've pretty much phoned it in.
Yeah.
And just pulled out of the competition.
Oh, good.
Because we couldn't find enough people.
Sure.
So that's kind of our team. But we'll be back tomorrow with some red hot Keyzie highlights on the old hardwood there. What are you doing tonight?
I'm not going to be sleeping. I'm going to be so I'm just so excited about the prospect of watching those highlights and the stats. I'm a stats man.
Yeah.
So seeing the black and white stats of the performance, and we've got some other people on the team that we know. So looking forward to that. Obviously looking forward to the big OB tomorrow night.
That's right. At Andy's Burger Bar at the Sky Tower at 4 o'clock. We'll be kicking off. We're going to have a whole host of comedians coming through for interviews. We're going to have Backbone t-shirts, food and beverage vouchers, and tickets to the Comedy Festival to give away as well. So make sure you come along. We'll see you there. Knock off work early. Get on down. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Hoity J's feeling better by then and he can join us as well. But from myself, Mogi and Pugsan.
Thanks, mate.
See you tomorrow at 4. Bye.